Welcome everyone to Side Draft, and welcome to Fan Reaction, the show where we get the fans' reaction on all things NASCAR, all things motorsports, really.
Here where we get the fans' voice out there for them to be heard.
So one topic that everyone has been debating ever since the birth of the playoffs is, should we even have a playoffs in NASCAR? And if so, what should they be like? Does the system that we have now good, or is it flawed?
Well, I believe every year they're still kind of tweaking it a little bit here and there, and some fans, or the old school fans, still have to go back to the old style and just the championship be whoever racks up the most points at the end of the season, and some people like it the way it is, so we'll find out.
All right, so the first one is from Andrew. He says, no playoffs. You race against every other team for 36 races. That's the best way to crown a legitimate champion. So he says that we need to go back to the Winston style points, where you just go the full series, go the full schedule, and then at the end of the season, whoever has the most points, that's the champion.
Yeah, I kind of like that too. I mean, I'm kind of the old school guy too. It's like, yeah, it's like whoever runs the best all year is your champion. Whoever, I mean, yeah, that should be your champion. So, yeah, I kind of agree with that. I mean, but going back to a lot of old races, I mean, you get one guy that can win your championship before the season ends. You have like 2 races to go, and they're champion.
And then those last 2 races, a lot of fans will not watch because they know who the champion is. So
yeah, so it has the drawbacks too. So
it's kind of in between on that one, because I like the idea of crowning the true champion, but it's like, but if that champion just dominates and gets it 2 races before the season ends, so you have a good chance of there being a points battle in that last race, but you have a good chance that it'll be a non-existent battle.
Yeah, because the way it is now, you got the regular season champion, and then you got the champion. And does that make it the season champion any less than the regular champion? Or, I mean, for the same person, it's fine, but if it's different, then that person's like, man, I could have been a champion.
Yeah, so we got one for the no playoffs. So let's see the next one, what they say. Next one is from Philip, who says 36 races, 1 champion. Points will be 50 to win, 5 for most laps led, 1 for leading a lap. Keep stage points, no yellow. 10 bonus points for winning all 3 stages. 43 car field with positions 2 to 40 getting points. 40 to 2, 41 to 43 would get 1 point. And also no charters.
What?
Got a lot to take in there.
Yeah, he put a lot of thought in that, and
yeah,
I'd like to see it play out. I don't know. It's just like it'd be fun to see how that all worked out.
It's kind of a cool hybrid between the old school with the new stage racing and playoff points, even though there's not technically a playoff.
Yeah, the way the playoffs is pretty good, I believe. I mean, you got to win to stay in, pretty much. But when it comes down to that last race, you may have a bad race, and then that person just win that race, or not even win a race the whole season, and then not even win that race, just finish higher than the other ones is a champion. I mean, I don't know. I totally agree with all that.
Yeah, so I don't think there's one system that would work perfectly every time. That you're going to have some years where a guy that just won 1 race all year, or maybe not even won a race, becomes the champion. Like Matt Crafton did in 2019 for the trucks, and then for the 36 races long, all year style, you might have some exciting years, but you could have a lot of, just somebody just takes it away.
Yeah, I mean, no matter what system's out there, you got at least some kind of drawback to it. So.
Yeah, so Paul says 10-person chase just like 2004. So he wants the playoffs, but in the way that it used to be where there's no like rounds in the playoffs. Everybody just goes to a sprint to the finish.
Yeah, I mean, it'll work.
A lot of people like that system, just 10 people in. Now we have 16, and there's a lot of people that's in that 16 that really doesn't have a chance to even touch the Final Four. There's those 4 elite guys in the playoffs, and the rest of the guys are just a little off.
Yeah, I mean, really, they got the whole season really to try to win a race and try to get into the playoffs. And I mean, once they get into the playoffs, man, they usually don't last a round or two, and then they're pretty much out.
And then we have William Blackwell, who says 20 drivers, 10 races. So he wants more people in the playoffs than there are now. After the first 3 races, get rid of 6 people. 3 races later, get rid of 5. 3 races later, get rid of another 5. Then you'll have your championship 4. 10 stage wins equals 1 guaranteed playoff spot, but top 25 in points. So I guess they're saying you have to be in the top 25 in points, and 1 win equals guaranteed playoff spot, but has to be inside the top 30, which that's how it is in real life currently. This one is kind of surprising because most people don't want more drivers in the playoffs.
Yeah, because I mean, why don't you just take the top 15, whoever finishes first? I mean, I know it'd be kind of expensive because I know they go ahead and print up a lot of shirts and hats and all that stuff. And if you got 10, 15 teams going into the final race, kind of crazy. But
anybody can win.
Yeah, he's getting more. Like somebody in the top 20 can actually get a chance to maybe get in the Final Four. I mean, that'd be very, very surprising. I mean, it'd be kind of tough for somebody that finishes 18th in points can make his way up there to the top.
All right, so that was everybody's opinions on what they would do if they own NASCAR and they can make their own playoff system. So let's talk about what we would want to see.
I don't know. I think the playoff now is okay. I believe I'd like to have some point system or something for a final race. I mean, I know that they always step up the game at that final race. It seems like all 4 of them usually run together or pretty close. And I don't know. I like that. I think stage points ought to be big in the final race.
Yeah, I think that would be my only change to what we have now is instead of like the 10 races that we have now, or maybe we can, add in another round. But I think like we should have that final round, like final 3 races, instead of it being just 1 race where they go out and just whoever wins it gets it all. Doesn't matter about stage points, doesn't matter about playoffs. But I'd have the final 3 races be a short track, a 1.5 miles, and a road course. Not necessarily in that order, just whatever order they happen to be in. But that way, in the recent past, if you suck at Homestead or if you suck at Phoenix this year and you're in the Final Four, well, you don't win the championship.
Yeah.
So this way, it's like that's basically all of the ones that needs any sort of skill. I'm not going to put a super speedway in there because yes, it would be cool to have a wild card, but I think those 3 types of racing is normally what you're going to be tested on throughout the whole entire regular season. So I think have those, and then you have your Final Four, and then stage points. Whoever has the most stage points, playoff points at the end of those 3 races is your champion.
What if we just had like the Final Four going into the last, say, 3 or 4 races, and their best average, or they can rack up points, and whoever's the leading towards the last race, win.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different
there's so many different scenarios we can throw together and systems we can put together, and I don't know if they all will work.
Yeah, I mean, you can use them in like iRacing or your NASCAR heat leagues. Maybe we could test them out and have our own side draft league on iRacing
Maybe
one day. Yeah, a lot of cool and unique different perspectives, because a lot of people don't like the playoffs at all, and a lot of people love them. It puts a little bit more of that intensity in the last 10 races. It's not just, oh, well, he's pretty much already won. Well, there goes me watching the race on Sunday. So a lot of different scenarios that could be played out. But right now, what we have is not terrible. It actually works.
Yeah, I think the way the playoff is now is it puts more attention to the final races, and brings more fans to it. And got more fans looking towards them, and it keeps it all the way to the very end instead of crown champion a race or two before and final end. So.
Yeah, and now we have it where you can rack up points throughout the year, so it's like every race does sort of matter. At least make it easier on yourself for the playoffs. Like Harvick and Hamlin, they're going to have such easy playoffs. They can just basically not even try and then show up to Phoenix and drive their heart out.
I think most time the season champion is going to be in the Final Four anyway. But I think if you're the season champion, it ought to give you immunity through the whole playoffs.
Yeah.
Maybe you're going to be in that Final Four.
Have like a get out of jail for free card. Like if you get eliminated, use that card.
Yeah, you get a little mulligan or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, yeah, there's so many different scenarios. Like, do you want like more of the gimmicks, stuff like that? Like, you get a power up.
Yeah, I think the regular season champion ought to be rewarded something. Not just extra bonus points. I mean, I think he ought to be. If he gets a season champion, he deserves it. He deserves to be in the Final Four.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. He just drove and drove and drove and got all those playoff points. Was able to win regular season, and right now that's Kevin Harvick. He pretty much locked that up. So yeah, he's going to get 15 bonus points and I think some cash. So which these Cup drivers don't really need cash anymore.
I do.
And give it to me, Kevin. So, yeah, thank you all for all of you who commented. Really like to get your perspectives on the sport, because the fans drive NASCAR as much as some people say they don't, but they really do. Thank you all so much for watching. And if you want to be featured into the next video, comment below. Who do you think can beat Kevin Harvick and Denny Hamlin? And why do you think that? Because we've seen in recent years where, like Joey Logano, who went and won against the big three.
Yeah.
And then, Matt Crafton went and won with no wins. So who do you think could be that upset for 2020? So comment that and you may be featured into the next one. And we'll see you next time on Side Draft.